So I'm Terry Brown, and I am a historical fiction author. I have three books out, or two books. One's coming out in January, so I'm really excited about that. And while getting my books out, I realized that I enjoyed public speaking, which is something that is very shocking because I'm not a natural public speaker. In fact, 2 years ago, I would have told you there's no way I can't even talk in public without like breaking out in hives. But I started thinking about how much I enjoyed that feeling of being in front of people, and the idea of TEDx came to my mind. So here I am. I didn't even know there would be programs for this kind of thing. I think I was just doing some general, like looking around on the internet for like how do you break into public speaking, that kind of thing. And I saw one of the like 30-minute things that you could do where, you would learn, like some of the basics. And I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. And as I listened, the more I listened, the more I thought, wow, this is interesting. And of course, Taylor has such a great way of like, drawing you in. And I thought, could I do this? And I had an idea for a TEDx, but I wasn't even sure if it was really a real idea. Like, could this even be? So I went ahead and signed up for the next thing where you got to speak to someone, and see if your idea was really an idea. And at the end of that, it was like, okay, am I gonna jump? Am I gonna do this? Or am I just going to keep wishy-washing around? And I almost didn't jump. It was kind of like, I don't know that I'm really ready for this. And do I really have the time? And the answer is no, I wasn't ready. And no, I didn't have the time, but I really wanted to do it. So I went ahead and thought, well, I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it right. And so I just jumped right on in. And like I said, here I am. Everything is done so methodically so that for someone like me, I didn't know how to write a talk that would be good for a TEDx stage. I'm an author. I know how to write, a book, but that's different than a talk. And I knew that, but how is it different? And how do I take this little tiny idea of mine, that would have taken me 30 seconds to explain to someone and turn it into something that's an actual talk? So like I didn't know what I was supposed to write, but I go into these classes and it's like, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is work on this little piece, and then we're going to work on this little piece, and then we're going to work on this little piece. And at the end of the day, my talk wasn't done, but I had an outline that was beautiful and I knew where I was supposed to go. And, there's the whole little up story and the down story and all of the hook and the up and the down and all of the things and where you want people to be emotionally in that whole journey. And it helped me know how to then take what I had and turn it into something that looked like that. And when I was done, it was like, would you look at that? I have a TED Talk. So I think for me, it was not being, if I had been alone and I had just maybe read books or articles or whatever, I don't know that I would have gotten the TED Talk that I got, because I wouldn't have understood what was meant by an up story. I wouldn't have understood how to make the connections between my up and my down and I wouldn't have known to do that. I wouldn't have known to take everyone on this journey with me. And that's what a TED Talk is you're taking someone on a journey, whether it's a 7-minute journey or a 15-minute journey. They're on this journey with you and how you want them to be at the end. And I wouldn't have known all of that. I got a talk right away. Like I'm just shocked. So I think I joined in May. Maybe it was April or May. My talk came out October the 9th. So it hasn't been a long time. I almost feel like I've been on a roller coaster ride and I'm still trying to, catch my breath at the end. I think there are a lot of people in the world like me who see prejudices and racism and things, and it's not that we don't know they exist. I have always known that it existed, but I didn't see my role in it in any way. It was a thing that was happening. And I would have said that I was kind of above it. Not above it like above it intellectually, like that isn't, and it doesn't touch my world. It doesn't touch my life. And then it did. And I recognize that. And I don't think that I am the only person that that happens to. And it doesn't just happen in black-white relations or in, people who don't like someone of another sexual orientation, but it can happen in things as simple as a neighbor with an accent that you don't like or don't understand, or someone who, I don't know, is blind and therefore you don't know what to say to them because you're concerned. Or for instance, my husband has brain cancer right now, and the number of people who don't know what to say to me, and it isn't because they are prejudiced, but they don't know what to say. What do you do? What do you say? How do you connect? And so I think that our world is like being really pulled apart in terms of connections. There's so much that we do online. Like we're doing this online, which is great, but it isn't the same thing as being with someone, right? And our world is becoming more and more disconnected that way. And so I'm hoping my talk will help people see that we're not talking just about the big prejudices, but about anything that separates you from someone else. And how do you get past that? And the only way you get past that is one person at a time, a one-on-one. You get to know someone, because as you get to know someone who has this thing that's different from you, you learn that you actually have more connections with them than you thought. And once you recognize those connections, the things that separate you don't matter as much. And you learn that like we're way more alike than we are different. And once you come to that conclusion, then things like prejudice and racism and the big ones, they can't take the same kind of hold anymore, because you recognize, okay, so yes, that person is different, but okay, like, aren't we all different? I hope that's what people get out of it, that racism, sexism, all the isms, all the phobias, all of those things have to be taken care of on a one-on-one, you and me kind of basis, and that there aren't laws that are going to take care of it, and government makes laws, and they're good ones, and they need to be there, but that helps keep like systematic racism from happening. But it doesn't change individual feelings. No law is going to change what you think in your head. And the only thing that's going to change what you think in your head is what you do about what you think in your head. I think it changed a lot in the way I view me. Like, I now see myself as a public speaker. Before, I saw myself as someone who wanted to, or hoped that maybe, or wondered if they could be. And now I say, well, yeah, I actually am a public speaker. Now what I need to do is figure out how to turn that into more than I'm doing now. I've done some podcasts, and I've been on some little local events and things, and I would like to do something a little bigger. And so that's kind of where I'm looking now, is like, how to go from where I am now to the next step. But in terms of me, I now see myself as an author and public speaker, whereas before I just saw myself as an author who sometimes happened to find herself in a public speaking role.